Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Ouch! Hello, and welcome to Thursday's edition of the dceu Daily, and you can keep this conversation and any other conversation I ignite going over on my Twitter at Movies TV Mad, because I'm Movies TV bonkers, but it's at Movies TV Mad. Don't forget that. Check that out after this video on Vero at Big Mouth 1, and the extension of this channel with bite-sized videos about movies and TV all throughout the day is my Instagram, Big Mouth. Yes, hello. Is it real? Question mark. Does it exist? Question mark. Of course it does. Zack Snyder makes a massive statement. This is a massive response to Henry Cavill's interview. It's you say something, I say something. You beat me in an arm wrestle, I'll beat you the next time in an arm wrestle. This is as close as a war of words between Henry Cavill and his former boss, Zack Snyder, you're ever going to get. But Henry Cavill is talking through his agent. He's talking through Warner Brothers. He's talking through Netflix. These are the people pulling his strings. He just wants to work. I explained this yesterday. He's desperate to play Superman again, and he's willing to sacrifice anything or anyone, rightly or wrongly, to do that. I don't blame Henry, I don't. But this was an emotional response. He posted this on Vero, as you can see just behind me. Now, basically, what this is the casings of where the film is in. Whether it's actually in there, who knows? Maybe he's taking it out for a blow dry, but basically, it exists, it's real, yes it does. Now, what does it say? It says, ZS, Zack Snyder, JL, Justice League, Director's Cut, 214 minutes, which is actually 3 hours and 57 minutes long. So, to reiterate, Zack Snyder posted that picture of the casing of where the Snyder Cut is in, asking, or not asking, basically mimicking what people are saying, is it real? Does it exist? Of course it does. And then, he doesn't stop there, because then we get, where are we? Someone called Christy Jada asks him a question on Vero. He actually responds. He does respond to as many as he can. No, just tired of people saying it's not real. This was an emotional reaction from Zack Snyder, but it was a massive statement of intent. What do I mean by that? I mean, no matter what Warner Brothers do. Listen, Warner Brothers, big companies, this is a massive $1 trillion Fortune 500 companies. Studios are gangsters. They're more powerful than governments. They can bring down a government. They've been trying to do it, let's face it, since Trump got in unsuccessfully. Well, they're nearly there, aren't they? But the thing is, right, they are powerful. I've told you this before. I have never seen a situation like this in my life. I've been watching films since I was 10 years old. Since I watched Superman the movie. Since I watched the 1960s feature-length Batman movie based on the TV series, right? That's when I started watching movies. I've been watching movies, reading about movies, watching the credits, knowing who's making them, knowing what's going on in the big boardrooms at Hollywood. I was always obsessed with all of it, right? I've never seen a situation like this in my entire life. I've seen creatives fired and they keep their mouths shut because they're under orders. But this guy is fantastic. Now, I get comments sometimes in past videos. Leave Zack Snyder alone. Let him grieve for autumn in peace. Let him move on. Let him make new projects. Well, he's making a new project. But Zack Snyder will never move on. A few weeks ago, I played an audio of actors saying what making films means to him, what Justice League meant to him, what Man of Steel and BVS meant to him. This is in his lifeblood. He loves superheroes. This is a busman's holiday for him. He wants back. And he's going to use everything in his armory to get this 4-hour cut released. Is he winning? I wouldn't go as far as saying he's winning. But I tell you what, if this was a chess match, it would be checkmate. This is one little director against a big beast. And he keeps on getting his sword. And every time they try and strike, he goes like this. And this is another moment. Like last week with the Variety article, Warner Brothers tried a really clever spin job by trying to tell us, look what's in this hand, lovely future projects, forget the Snyder Cut in your other hands, let it go. Didn't work, did it? Didn't work, although I'm really excited for those projects, by the way. And now Warner Brothers do it again. They get Henry there. They get him in that interview via his agent. His agent tells him what to say because Warner Brothers are obviously planning to make a direct sequel to Man of Steel. That's obvious now, right? Which is a great thing. So they say to Danny Garcia, tell him to kind of pretty much deny the Snyder Cut. He wants to look to the future, blah, blah, blah. So twice we've had a big entity, last week Variety, and this week Henry Cavill, basically kind of saying, well, Henry Cavill didn't deny the existence. He didn't talk about how much it was going to cost. But in the Variety article, because basically when the rumour of the existence of the Snyder Cut happened, first of all, they said it didn't exist. He didn't have time to finish filming. He didn't have time to do reshoots. There was never going to be any reshoots by Zack Snyder. Maybe some pickups. I don't know. But basically, Zack was happy with what he had. So at first there was a denial of the existence of the Snyder Cut, right? So then you get to 2 years later on November the 17th. And then all of a sudden we know, right? Basically, or us in the movement, who have always known it has existed or had the faith, right? So now what they're saying is, well, it does exist, but it's going to take too much to complete. It's not finished. But then you get Momoa basically hinting that everything's been done on this movie, which is very, very interesting. So it's ready to go. It's ready to go. So they've tried, basically, Warner Brothers and big companies like Warner Brothers work with spin. And we've got a general election. I'm not in the UK, but in the UK where I'm from, they've got, I'm originally from, I live here in Cyprus, but they've got a general election. So when parties are battling for a general election, they work with spin. So they'll either apologise for what they've done in the past or they try and make the other party look bad. You get it? This is like a general election. You've got Warner Brothers not making one public statement officially, but having their tools, their armoury, which is the media, to try and make Zack look a little bit crazy, make him look like a liar. Listen, for 2 years, they have tried everything via Sujihara, via Toby Emmerich. None of it's worked. The Variety article and the Henry Cavill one was another one. So they weren't satisfied with the Variety article, but by the way, actually got released the Snyder Cut trending again. They had the Henry Cavill interview. We all responded to that, but Zack was quiet on that day. He gathered his thoughts, but I believe what he did was an emotional reaction, but a very clever emotional reaction, because Zack Snyder's, look, the release the Snyder Cut movement wouldn't have got this far if Snyder wasn't a very intelligent man, and he is. He's playing a chess game with these people. He is so smart, and I think he's smarter than Warner Brothers ever gave him credit for. Don't forget, these are people with spin doctors. These are people with advisors, with think tanks, and they can't outmaneuver him. They tried the, what was it? The Wall Street Journal piece with Ben Fricks, right? That was a hit piece. They tried that. We kind of all went, oh, not worth it anymore. But then he gathered our speed again and motivated us again, right? So they've kept on trying doing hit pieces. The Variety article was a hit piece. Again, it didn't work. It worked to our advantage. Then they pushed Henry Cavill out to talk about the future of Superman. Again, trying to say to us, the Superman fans this time, look, we're going to give you a new shiny Man of Steel film. Forget about Justice League. What's happened has happened, right? That's all in the past, right? We're even going to pretend Batman v Superman didn't exist. We're going to make a film straight after Man of Steel. That interview that you saw, that physical audio interview you saw with Henry, he was speaking out of Warner Brothers and J.J. Abrams' mouth. They are going to make a direct sequel to Man of Steel, which is really, really exciting to me and all of my fellow Superman fans. But and I think people misunderstood my video yesterday, that in a way I'm saying, fuck the Snyder Cut, I just want a Superman movie. No, I am here fighting, release the Snyder Cut, fighting for. I'm part of that movement. You see, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that. But the point is, I'm a Superman fan. Listen, I want to see the Snyder Cut, and I want a direct sequel to Man of Steel. I want both. And I think Henry Cavill in a perfect world would like both. But he's getting his strings pulled by Warner Brothers, by the Garcias. And this is the problem. He's been promised to be a big part of Black Adam. He's been promised a direct sequel to Man of Steel. This is actually a Superman fan. He's going to do whatever it takes. And unfortunately, if he has to, sacrifice Zack to do it, that's what he's going to do. So I'm not one of these fools, but you're entitled to your opinion, who's not going to watch The Witcher. I can't wait for The Witcher. And I have got this Dolby Vision TV. And Netflix are like the only ones, and YouTube do stuff in Dolby Vision now, that you can watch stuff in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, right? So, you know what? I'm not wasting that. And I love Henry Cavill. And I'm not going to hate him because of his stance. He's not speaking from his own mouth. He just wants that Superman sequel. He wants that Black Adam cameo. He wants to be back on the DCEU table. You can't blame him for that. But I understand his position, and I understand Zack's reaction. It was an emotional reaction. He feels betrayed. And he should feel betrayed by Warner Brothers, not Henry, because Henry hasn't got any power here. He's going to do as he's told. As I say, he's going to do whatever it takes to get this Man of Steel sequel and this Black Adam role. And they're just the facts. But I totally understand Zack's position here. That was an angry, emotional response. But as usual, he's a very intelligent man. But this is a big play. This is a big play because by actually posting this, there is no denial. Because he can't play the bloody movie for you. He can't play the movie, mainstream audience. There's still people saying, oh yeah, it's just a casing. Unless I can see the real, I'm not believing it. But even if you see the dipping a big reel around this kind of spindly thing, right? It's no proof it's the Snyder Cut. But we believe it. Of course we believe it. Why would Zack go this far? It's ridiculous. He completed it. He edited it. The music's on it. The effects are there. It's ready to go. But there's a bigger thing here. How do we know they already haven't had negotiations? Maybe they want it on HBO Max and he wants a limited cinematic release first. And maybe they're saying, no, it's not worth it. Maybe that's why they're disagreeing. And maybe their little hit pieces and what they're getting Henry to do isn't about them not wanting the Snyder Cut to be released at all, but they want control of how it's shown. And they are desperate to put HBO Max on the map. And this is a massive thing now. Everyone is talking about this cut, whether you want it, whether you don't want it. So I think maybe they're disagreeing how this film is going to be shown. So don't underestimate how far. This seems to me a negotiating power play by everyone. By Henry Cavill, by Zack Snyder. This is very interesting. But on the surface, this really looks like an emotional response. And by the way, if this is some kind of negotiating power play, Zack's winning here. Because now Zack has got everyone. And even creatives, even pundits and, bloggers are saying, sorry, Zack, we didn't believe you. I didn't like Batman v Superman, some people are saying, some bloggers are saying, but I love the extended edition. People who weren't on his corner are in his corner. So let's just pretend there's no negotiations and this is a power play to actually convince them to release the Snyder Cut, right? Then, you know what? Again, it's advantage Zack. So as I can look, sometimes when I see these pictures, because I don't get alerts on Vero, I don't even know how to set up alerts on Vero. So I'm relying on what comes on Twitter. And when I see one of my fellow Snyder fans posting this, sometimes I just think they're fake pictures. Or it's an old picture from ages ago. But then you look at it again, you think, fuck me. He's actually posting a bloody picture, right? A bloody picture of the casing of what the film's in. 214 minutes, JL Director's Cut. Amazing. Not many people, let's be honest here. Many people would have been too scared to carry this fight to Warner Brothers for this long. This is proof that he's not going to back down. He's with us, we're with him, and we're a family. And this is why I do compare us to the Fandom Menace. What are the Fandom Menace actually fighting for? I don't want to divert attention from what I'm talking about, but what are they fighting for? Non-female representation. I talk, some of the stuff they say I agree with. but I still think they're a bunch of racist, sexist, homophobes, right? I do. I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe that. Even though some of the stuff they say is logical, I think they are intelligent people, but I think the whole point is their points do stem in racism, homophobia, and an anti-feminine agenda. I do believe that, even though I agree. I don't want to see a female 007. I think it's outrageous. But at the end of the day, if they do Bond justice and they don't kill him off and she doesn't replace him, I'm happy. If it's just about a little bit of representation and we get a great movie, I'm fine. But now, the Release the Snyder Cut movement is a family. It's about love. It's about something we love, not something we hate. And that's my whole point. And I'm with Zack here. I'm with Zack. But I've always made the point, I'm a DC fan first and a Superman fan first, and I do want those films to continue. But there's a very dangerous situation at play here for Warner Brothers. As I say, the Brazil Fan Expo kicks off later today in the States. I think it's today anyway. Today or tomorrow, right? So they want the new Birds of Prey, The Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. What a bloody long title that is. They want the second trailer to be trending. But the big thing, their biggest film, Warner Brothers' biggest film of 2020 is Wonder Woman 1984. They've shined this up good. This is their whole plan. This is Walter Hamada's whole plan for the future. It's a bit like Rise of Skywalker. It has to work for Disney and Lucasfilm, because if it doesn't, they're actually injecting the new direction they're going to go in for the future of Star Wars. And it's the same here. Wonder Woman 1984, it potentially is going to reset everything if it's that cut they're going to release in cinemas. So this is important. So if that trailer doesn't trend, no, it's not that it's not going to trend, but if Release the Snyder Cut is trending higher than Wonder Woman 1984 or Birds of Prey, The Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, that's a big problem. That's a disaster for Warner Brothers. And the problem is, even if they announce the Snyder Cut now, it's going to trend higher than those films. So you can't hear anything right now. It's just not good business for them. They at least have to get this weekend out of the way, and then they have to think again. They have to understand, no matter what they spin, how many hit pieces they get someone to write. Zack Snyder and his family, and I'm not just talking about Deb and his children, his family is us. We have become a family. Now, some of you out there may think we're a bunch of weirdos, but you know what we are and who we are. We're like you. We're geeks. We're nerds. We love our TV. We love our movies. We love our comic books. We love our cartoons. Me, a man at 47 years old, loves watching cartoons more than anything else, even more than live action. I'm a good old-fashioned nerd. I'm not embarrassed. I love Christmas. I wish I didn't know that Santa Claus didn't exist, you know. So, or he might not exist, right? Or he might not exist. There's certain younger members of my family watching this, by the way. So, but my answer about Santa Claus, just changing the subject a little bit, and this is what I truly believe. If you want to believe in Santa Claus, if you want to believe he's real, then he's real. That's it. It's what you believe, isn't it? And I'd rather live in a world where Santa is real. You're probably switching off now because you think I'm mad. But that's my opinion anyway. But the whole point, let's go back to the Snyder Cut. So this, look, when these things break, I want to do a video and put it out there and put my opinion out to you guys and girls straight away. But I thought, let's relax. Let's let everything unfold because, as usual, there's a lot of things that come out. There's a lot of things... This one was really funny. How about you organise a private screening for all your fans? Come on, I'm sure you have a big house. So he says something like, where are we? Where are we? Oh, he says, not a bad idea, but you'll have to sleep on the carpet. Or he says something like that. So basically, he's responding to the fans because we are, he's got us, right, fighting for this, hashtagging. It's trending every day. We're winning this war. No matter what Henry Cavill said in an interview, no matter what hit piece they put out the week before, it doesn't matter what they do. They have the power whether they release it or not. But we're just pushing that pressure switch, right? And Zack Snyder keeps on egging us on by these pictures. But this is a massive response to what Henry Cavill said. Because Zack Snyder is invested. He doesn't want to move on. This is personal to him. Have I said it here? I did another take of this and I had to start again for one reason or the other. But anyway, the other week I played you an audio of all his cast from Justice League saying how invested he is in these characters, in these comic books. He's like us. He's like a nerd. He's not going to back down. He worked tirelessly. He's got a 4-hour cut of the director's cut of Justice League. He's not going to back down. But as I said, we've seen this happen before. We've seen creatives being moved on. But they don't put up a fight. This is one brave man. Because he's willing to sacrifice his whole career. Do you remember what John Campea said? That he shouldn't do this. He's embarrassing himself. He's gonna risk his future in the industry. The whole thing is, John, he's not a coward like you. He is, respect, John. You do a great job on your channel. But you're talking from a coward's perspective. This man is willing to sacrifice his whole career to keep this fight going. That's the point. And it's massive. And it matters. It matters a hell of a lot to him. And he's not going to give up. And neither are we. I truly believe we are almost there. But as I say, I don't know where the chess pieces are. Are they negotiating whether this goes straight to HBO Max or home video or theatrical release first? Is that the problem? Or haven't they even started negotiating? I think they have started negotiating. I think it's very clear when a company starts refollowing you on social media, something is afoot. So, you see, yesterday I was saying, because of the Cavill interview, I started to think that there's no way they're ever going to release this thing. It's interesting how these companies play publicly, because sometimes you think it means one thing, but really it means another. So as I say, the Variety article and the Cavill interview could be a way of trying to convince Zack Snyder just to say, okay, just HBO Max. At this point, I just want to see it. But would I not want to see it on a big cinematic screen? Of course I would. And if they can do that, yes. But I don't want this to go on for years and years, and neither do you, and neither does Zack. It's time. What happened to Zack Snyder, and I'll repeat this, what they did to Zack Snyder, what Kevin Sugihara did to Zack Snyder was inhumane. The man was creating a masterpiece. You should have just let him finish it, release it, shake his hand, say goodbye and say, hey, Joss Whedon, now it's time for your vision. That's it. That's all you had to do. But you couldn't even get that right. And this is why you've been sacked, Kevin. This is why you've been sacked. Because Warner Brothers will take the whatever the word is, the degeneration of Superman. I'm not even getting my words out here. But there's one thing they won't take. A man who allows a film to come out that makes Superman look like a clown. Yeah, a clown. Superman means a hell of a lot to that studio. And that's why they hesitate with him. That's why he's taken 2 or 3 years off. They know so many mistakes have happened. But they're determined as anyone to make sure Superman can return to your screens. But if they're still resisting the release of this cut, then they're just as bad as Kevin Sugihara, whether they sacked him or not. This says something about Ann Sarnoff, the woman running WB. It's up to you, Ann. You've seen that Zack Snyder isn't going to back down. You can't threaten his career. This is why nobody's ever done this before, never fought for their cut, never fought for their vision this deeply and this hard, because they're scared of their career. But Zack Snyder isn't afraid of that, because Zack Snyder has the skill, has the, talent and determination to make his own films. And if an audience doesn't see them and he has to pay a few actors himself, he's happy with that. He doesn't need to make money with his films. He's a creative. As long as he can still edit and make movies, he's happy, And someone will always employ him. But that's the threat that creators have always had, and that's why you don't get anyone fighting for their vision this deep and this hard. But Zack Snyder doesn't care about that. To get this film released, for us to be able to see it, is all he cares about. And the fight will go on. And as I say, the posting of the casing of the reel, the films it, was massive. Because there can be no denial now. He's blatantly said it to a big mainstream audience. Because he posted it on Vero, whether mainstream or not. But he knows his family, his fans, the family, the Release the Snyder Cut family, will post it everywhere. Instagram. If I'm doing it, you're doing it, and millions around the world are doing it. He knows what he's doing. He's clever. And he always stays within the legal remit, so they can't sue him. So in the past, they can threaten legal action. But this guy is so smart, so intuitive, so intelligent that he stays within the realms of the law. So they can't. So he's fighting a proper psychological battle. And so are they. But the only thing they've got is the threat of destroying his career, the threat of hit pieces, and they're not working. He has now got everyone on his side because everyone knows that what happened to him was wrong. Basically, Warner Brothers, you lost this battle a long time ago. And you can kick and you can scream and you can resist. But you know and I know that this has gone beyond about money to you. But you will make a lot of money on this. Maybe you don't want to bring Zack back to continue the dceu franchise. I don't know if we can get a Justice League 2 and a Justice League 3 or whatever. I don't know. But right now, let's focus on getting the Snyder Cut released. Because I think that's one hell of a film. We already know that Joss Whedon pretty much reshot that whole movie, right? Apart from a few Zack Snyder sequences. 10%. 10%. That's what Fabian Wagner said. We saw 10% of Zack's work in the theatrical cut of Justice League. We ain't seen nothing yet. And it's there. 4 hours of beautiful Zack Snyder Justice League movie. Green Lantern, Darkseid, Euxus, whatever you want to call him, right? It's all there. Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman without a cringy grin, Superman without the awful CGI. It's all there for us to enjoy. And all we have to do is carry on to stand by Zack's side. And it can happen. Zack Snyder, maybe you'll see this, maybe you won't. You are one hell of a brave man. After everything you've lost personally, to keep on fighting like this is amazing. And you know what, my friend, and I do class you as a friend, I feel that close, even though we've never met and we never will. I will stand by your side, and so will the rest of your fans, your family, because what we're fighting for is beyond just a film, even though that's important. And escapism and art is important. This is about more than that. We are going to get this released. We do not want to crow if Warner Brothers release this. We don't want to say, we won. It's not about that. For me, it's just about seeing the Snyder Cut. Thank you everyone for watching. Did you like the video? Smash a like. If you want to downgrade the video and go do the thumbs down, you can do that as well. I suppose it's a reaction. It's up to you. So like, share and subscribe. Share the channel and there'll be more DCEU Daily tomorrow. And who knows what's going to break by the time I do another video. Exciting, isn't it?